much drama since the day that we split. Boy, my heart's never been more at ease.
Yeah.
And when I think of all the
Things you put me through, living you has been the best thing for me. So why does it hurt so bad? Why do I feel so sad? I thought I was over you.
but I keep crying when I
Don't love you. So why does it hurt so bad?
baby, I
Thought I better let you go, so
why does it hurt me so? I
gotta get you out of my head
hurts me so bad,
so bad.
hurts me so.
You know, Mark Zuckerberg, I guarantee you he's going to give me a copyright strike. I bet you Mark's running around Facebook saying, did you hear what we was doing over there in Zambia? He's playing copyrighted music. Shut him down. Mark, give me a break. Come on, we're having fun. For goodness sake. And besides, it was less than what? An hour? It was less than 30 seconds. Mark, please don't shut me down. Please don't do that. Don't do it. Hello, everybody. Thought we could have a little fun now. Jackson, I'm hoping from Eastern Province, would you put that loud and clear? Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Somebody says, Simon's got a talent show. I'm just out here acting crazy because I know it's nobody here but home folk. Honestly, really. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to spend a few minutes of your time with me here on SML TV. On a serious note, I'd like to extend my condolences on a personal level to the family of, to the Trade Kings family. Many of you heard the news that the founding father of Trade Kings passed away this morning. And I must tell you, from a very personal point of view, I have had a very good working relationship with him. I had a very good relationship with him and his company, Trade Kings, and I was very saddened to hear of his passing. And so today, I'd like to say our sincere condolences to the entire Trade Kings family. Thank you. Guys, a couple of things we need to talk about. Somebody says, Joseph says you're 4 minutes late. Was that 4 minutes? Was it really? I'm sorry. Well, you know, we're very unconventional here at SML TV. This is my office. This is where I work. So oftentimes stuff happens. And when it does, you just roll with the punches. Okay. You just go with the flow. One more comment here. Watching from Ndeke, Ndola. You know, incidentally, I was over at the Ministry of Health a few days ago. You know, the Ministry of Health, the building that houses the Ministry of Health in the Long Acres area. I was there, and while I was sitting waiting for the person that I was waiting to see, it dawned on me that the last time I was actually in that building was about 15 years ago, you know. And then I remembered that when I was a teenager, the very first plane ticket I ever bought was from there. The building is called Ndeke House. Ndeke, a plane. Ndeke means plane. Ndeke means plane house, aircraft, okay, aircraft. And in those days, that was during the Zambia Airways days. I was 18, almost 19 years old. And I remember in those days, you had to go to Ndeke House to purchase your plane tickets. And I remember it had multiple little leaves rather. It was like a little booklet in those days. tickets now are electronic. I think they send them, you can order tickets online and people can send you tickets on your WhatsApp and things. When I was a kid, there was no such thing. You had to physically go to the the business there. It was the whole building where Ministry of Health sits today. In 1988, 89, that building, the whole building was for Zambia Airways. And it was a huge operation in those days. So sitting there, I'm just reminded of that because of Benny's comment, watching from Deke Ndola, Kundeke. And I was at Ndeke House not too long ago. I thought I'd share that with you. Every so often, I want to share with you some tidbits of information that you may not otherwise know. All right, let's get into it. Let's break it down. Let's talk about this. I know this is a very controversial topic, but as is our custom, we have to do that. Let me first of all point out that, and all of you know this, President Hakainde Hichilema has, with immediate effect, suspended High Court Judge Wilford Mumma. Now, remember Mr. Mumma? Do you remember him? He was back in March of this year, a few months ago. He made the news because over there, in Mongo, he jumped into the Zambezi River. He was driving his Hilux, his official vehicle, I would imagine. And prior to going to this bridge, he had sent some suicidal-like texts to his family. And his family got concerned because they began to receive these messages that sort of hinted, that sort of suggested that the Judge Wilford Mumma, was suicidal. And, they alerted the police and family members. Well, come to find out that he had gone to some bridge over there in Mongo, and he had hurled himself off of that bridge in an attempt to off himself, to kill himself. Well, lo and behold, it didn't happen. When he hit the water, he was still alive, and he was holding on to some reeds. And then all of a sudden, it dawned on him, I'm not dead, okay? So I might as well scream for help. So right there in the Zambezi River, he began to yell. He began to scream for help. And fortunately, some residents, people walking through there, they saw him, and he was subsequently rescued. Now, one of the reasons why he attempted to commit suicide, as many of you know, is that back in 2018, he had facilitated the N.P.F, the Notorious Patriotic Front, in acquiring, had assisted the N.P.F, the Notorious Patriotic Front, helped them get a piece of land that rightfully belongs to the Army, and apportioned it and gave it to the PF, the N.P.F. Now, the N.P.F, their plan was to build an ultra-modern headquarters. That was their plan. Their plan was to build this massive edifice that spoke of the dominance of the N.P.F. My dear friend Antonio Mwanza, whom I love very much, Antonio Mwanza, back in the prior to the elections, Antonio used to refer to the PF as the Mighty Patriotic Front. Well, we don't call them that. We call them the Notorious Patriotic Front. Well, in those days, the Notorious Patriotic Front was planning to build this huge, massive edifice. You know what an edifice is? It's a massive, imposing building that would have spoken of their dominance. That was the plan. Now, this is what happened. When they lost the elections in 2021, as you know, the Zambian people woke up and said, you know what, we're not going to have these jokers around here. We're not doing that. So the Zambian people went to the ballot. We went to the polls, and we selected a completely different leader. We changed the trajectory of the country, basically, is what we did. So here it is. When the N.P.F lost the elections, the top brass of the N.P.F created a huddle. They came together and said, "Wane, aya ma elections aya, chapala kwati twalusa. Chapala kwati uyu munumendo hagainde. Ewala ba president. So twala chisa shiani. They came to shema malo." So instead of keeping this piece of land, which was originally owned by the army, and it was illegal for Judge Mumma to do the machinations that he did in order to create a separate title deed from the army and transfer it to the N.P.F. That in and of itself was illegal. Are you hearing this? I'm giving you guys proper information. There's nothing here is manufactured. Nothing here is a lie. Everything here is a fact. So this was on Burma Road. So the N.P.F, realizing that they've lost the election, they came into a huddle. They came together, and they said, "Bane, it's better to alirapo. Simamene. Instead of us walking away from this empty-handed, can we just sell this land? This land that was intentionally sectioned off, plotted for our structures, the new headquarters for the N.P.F. But because we have lost, now tulu sa, tapari if yes we yo. Shawama, it's better to ashtishe inchende. Iteni uri omu Chinese uria. Uri wakusekari uria. Eukwete mpia. Alina mula. Chapa umuzulu. Bashireta $1 million, my friend. Not Zimbabwean. Not from Madagascar. Not from Kazakhstan. Not from Afghanistan. 1 million United States American dollars. Now, what's interesting about this story is that the top brass of the N.P.F, eba ishibe diwi. Abena kalimanshi taba ishibe. Ififuma N.P.F kadazi tafia ishibe. Bali abalumendo balelonda kuli balungu balaba ekere panse balia. Those chaps were completely unaware. Fidabalanda muchisungu, they were totally in the dark. Taba ishibe. They knew nothing of this high class, high stakes deal that the top brass of the N.P.F was making under the umbrella of darkness, and the lower organs of the party knew nothing of this deal. Nothing. So, iria nchende barishtisha. Abadire mpia shidia ni bari abachukulire baria. The top brass of the N.P.F. Baria mumona pama TV baria nga baisa tiyo. Ifo tu Afrika no mbaifwe. Turebwele rapo, turechisa nite. Baria ma guys baria ebarerila. Apapa nshapa wala. So now, when this thing came to a head, when this story started to gain traction, but Judge Mumma decided, you know what? I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to stick around for this. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to see myself go to jail. Are you kidding? I'm a judge. What would it look like if all of a sudden I was found guilty and they sent me off to prison and I'm there in prison uniforms, hanging out with the people I sentenced? What kind of sense would that make? It's better I just leave this earth than stick around with you jokers. Now, Zambezi, I'm going to jump off that cliff, jump off that bridge, and when I hit the ground, when I hit the water, when I hit the surface of the water, I'll be gone. Well, it didn't work out that way. So now, the truth of the matter is, there was an exchange of a huge amount of money for land that was not rightfully the PF's, land that didn't rightfully belong to the N.P.F, the Notorious Patriotic Front. That whole thing was done in a very clandestine manner to benefit the top brass of the N.P.F. $1 million. And then you wonder, you ask the question, it begs the question. $1 million. You mean to tell me you can't go to a convention? You can't? N.P.M. with the full pocket. My US dollars. You can't go to a convention and select a new leader? You can't do that? It's nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Let me read some of your comments. In the words of the late Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. Uyu Lee says, I'm watching from Olympia Park. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So let me move on now to my message, my advice to all N.P.F, to all Notorious Patriotic Front presidential candidates. And I mean all of you. Everyone from GBM, Emmanuel Mwamba, Abena Mouse, Abena Mundubida. I can never get his name right. Did I ever share that with you? Every single time I say his name, I mix it up. I always mess it up. Is it Mundubida? Mundubida. Whatever the hell his name is. Okay? All of you guys, this is my advice to every single solitary Notorious Patriotic Front presidential candidate. Here it is. I'll break it down for you. Assert yourselves. Assert yourselves. Make your intentions confidently known. You guys are a bunch of wusses. You know what a wuss is? Could somebody tell me in the comments, what is a wuss? Have you heard that phrase before, wuss? You need to begin to assert yourselves. You need to begin to assert yourselves. You can't walk around tiptoeing through the tulips. You can't walk around singing patty cake, baker man. You can't walk around holding hands singing kumbaya and looking to the sky for some type of miracle that will never come. You need to begin to assert yourselves. If you love this country, if you love your party in the way that you claim that you do, assert yourselves. Make your intentions known confidently. Not this nonsense I see the other day. Bless him. I love him with all my heart because he's a dear brother of mine. And I've always had a very good, cordial relationship with Emmanuel Mwamba. I love him. He's a wonderful guy. But the other day, when the government withdrew some officers from there, and let's be clear, not all the officers were withdrawn. There is a remnant of officers still there, okay? What disappointed me with Emmanuel Mwamba was that he is a contender. He's a presidential contender. But when that thing happened, when the government communicated to the former president's residence and said, we're withdrawing all the offices, according to Mumma, he used the word all the offices from the presidential, the former presidential house. But Emmanuel Mumma said, it's up to President Lungu if he wants to run again. If he wants to it's his right. If he wants to recontest the presidency, it is former President Lungu's prerogative to exercise that right. When he said that, I said, then why the hell have you put your hat in for the race? Why the hell have you spent 200,000 kwacha of your hard-earned money? You've lodged your nomination. You've paid the presidential fees. You have made your intentions known. And then all of a sudden you turn around and say, no, in fact, if the president wants, if former President Lungu wants to run, it is up to him. So what the hell are you running for? All of you, the same thing. No, we are here offering solidarity. Assert yourselves. No one's going to give you the presidency on a silver plate. You must know that. And guys, you must also understand, Zambian politics has changed. Zambian politics has evolved. Forget that humble stuff. You know, no, ngana humble balansalati yo, uyuinyo yushire fire presidency out wala sala. Uyuine ushire chifwaya twalamu turira. There's no such thing anymore. Zambians are alert now. You can't hoodwink the Zambian people now. Things have changed. Now, I'm a phony. Listen, in the next 2-3 years, everybody is going to be on the internet. You're going to have more than 9 million people, close to 10 million people in this country that are going to be internet savvy. So you can't lie to the Zambian people. Forget that nonsense of no, why chefia, you are kui chefia, nga why chefia, edabala monati, ababeni aba tulefuayava, why pantuna chefia. Nonsense. You guys are a bunch of amateurs. That's what you are. Every single solitary N.P.F presidential candidate, you are a bunch of amateurs. It's real. You should say something. I'm serious. Mwamba is the sheep follower. Yes, true. Zambians' political has changed. Our eyes are very open. Hit on, Mr. Mumma. You're my man. You always tell the truth. Well, I don't know about always, but we try. Goodness. All right, here it is. All right, let's read this last one. How can you assert yourself when you know your intentions aren't pure? Good question. Oh, here it is. Remember I said a wuss? I said, you guys are wusses. This is the definition of a wuss. A wuss is a weak and ineffective person. You're wusses. Every single one of you're wusses. You are. You are. All right, guys. Thought I'd share that with you. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. Take care of yourselves and each other. Love you. Bye.